yesterday. It was like goat moves or something, and I was like, Keenan Allen's a great receiver, but to be getting tweets from LeBron James?
Ooh, we just heard about it. He's enthusiastic about his Charger team. We've got a young quarterback coming off a huge rookie season. At least half this table is very in on Justin Herbert, and they added some key pieces in this year's draft. So we'll be talking about this team in late December, right? We'll be talking about them as sneaky contenders, right?
Can the Chargers be sneaky contenders, or is that like an annual thing? I don't know. Let's see. I was watching the NFL Network yesterday, and Matt Money Smith is just sweating through his shirt, and he looked great. And LaDainian's there, and the players are coming by, and Herbert looks like a Greek god out there, and it's like, I've got to be cautious with the Chargers because I do this to myself. And Kay, you have gone all the way through seasons with the Chargers. And then at the end of the day, it's like, what are we doing in December? How did this happen? Michael Badgley misses a kick, or it's Nate Kading misses a kick, or it's Phillip Rivers throws a pick, or whatever it is. It goes back and back and back. So, yeah, it's all there on paper, but they have a new coach. They've got a lot of new question marks on offense. And my biggest deal here...
This is a time capsule. Any year, you could be saying exactly what you're saying.
My biggest thing why I like it, the offensive line had issues last year, and just like the Chiefs did in a little lesser spotlight, they addressed it. You look at their offensive line. Rashawn Slater is getting a ton of love. Ian Rappaport was at in Costa Mesa where they were yesterday, and he was like, this guy was not supposed to slip to 13. He did. So let's say that's a win right there. Feeler's nickname was the Anchor when he was in Pittsburgh. Lindsley, highest paid center of all time. Ode, we know obviously he was a Jet and now he's there. And then Bulaga is one of Rodgers' most beloved guys. Like, that's a really good offensive line with a really good quarterback and a lot of young talent. And LeBron James is tweeting at Keenan Allen. So, yeah, sure.
Lindsley and Bulaga are two of the guys that Rodgers mentioned in his press conference that they shouldn't have been let go and they should have been treated differently. He loves those dudes.
What you say, Shrakes? Yeah, sure.
They're
We're going to be talking
contenders.
I think that's the right answer, sure.
Listen, they over the last few years, we've seen them get so close to being a good team. And like Shrek said, there's been these moments where the game just slips right out of their hands. And we're talking about the final moments of a game. They just need one more play maker. And they're going to get that guy back on the field. Derwin James. Derwin James, and I know we've talked about him this week, and I think we're just all excited to see him back. Do we realize how good he was his rookie year?
Sure.
We're talking about Pro Bowl, an All-Pro, over 100 tackles. Like, my dude is a monster. He isn't just one of those guys you put in and the defense is decent. No, he literally takes your defense to an entirely different level. His name, the origin of his name, is Gifted Friend. Good friend. Well, listen, good friend, we need your gifts on the field. Because if this team wants to take that next step, they need game breakers, not a few playmakers. And Derwin James is that. And I'm fine with what they have on offense. I know they have skill players. Herbert, we're giving him a Hall of Fame jacket. Keenan Allen's getting tweeted by LeBron. We love Austin Eckler. Okay, cool. Offense is solid. But who do you have on the defense side of the ball that can change a game like that? Derwin James is that dude. And hopefully he is healthy for 16, 17 weeks because missing 27 games in the last 2 years, as good as he is, it has to hurt the squad.
This is part of the conversation. This is why it makes it interesting. They always have those, like, fun pieces and great players. You said, sure. If someone asked me, like, are they a sneaky contender, I would say, okay. Like, I can't say yes. And look, the Brandon Staley thing is interesting. It's interesting. Not only do they have a brand new head coach, it's a head coach that is not one of these football household names. It's not, I don't know, like one of these guys that is a star, like Robert Saleh. We've been talking about him for years. Like, we knew that he was this prince who was promised. Brandon Staley comes out of nowhere. He was the Rams defensive coordinator. He looks very young. He's kind of funny and witty, and, like, it's exciting that maybe he can take them to the next level. It's like, I remember Anthony Lynn. I remember Mike McCoy. I remember Norv Turner. I remember Marty Schottenheimer. But there's always this coach who's going to take all these great players that their predecessor couldn't quite get over the hump with and then didn't. A lot to like. What month is it? It's August right now?
Yeah.
It's too much scar tissue for me with this team. In this organization, that it's always everything down to their uniforms and their logo and everything's always really sexy. And it's just never quite enough. And that was before they had to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year. It's tough.
But Justin Herbert, doesn't he change that and dissolve some of that scar tissue, even if they didn't make it very far last year? Like, his rookie season was so good. I think we're talking about them in December regardless, because the way that we're building up Justin Herbert based off a successful season, them not making the playoffs or not being in the mix to get into the playoffs or make waves is going to be a big disappointment that we're going to be discussing, don't you think?
I do. The hangover that I have is that there's a lot of people, I think even at this table, that think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they never could do it with him. So even if Herbert is a Hall of Famer, like, it's...
There's only 7 teams in the AFC that can get there, right? And we always talk about the Chiefs and the Bills and the Browns and the Ravens and the Steelers and the Titans.
Who are you taking out?
Who are you taking out?
Yeah.
And they're in there. They're in the mix. They're a sneaky contender.
Yeah.
Very appropriate.
Sneaky contender it is. Okay, well, wrapping up Good Morning Football after this. Week 1 of the preseason kicks off tonight.